That's a weird looking one. These are two different bucks. No way. Just kind of go within 50 yards of each other. This just shows how bad of a shed hunter I am. You know, that might be the... Just falling into the creek going on one side, and I think this might be him. Good start. That's a great start to the day. Well, today is Friday, March 22nd. I'm shed hunting the property that I have the most history with ever. I mean, this is a property that I started hunting back when I was in 8th grade, and I don't get to hunt it as much because I live further away now. It's about a 3-hour drive to get here. I don't know. All I know is that I've always found sheds on here every year. There's not been a year that I haven't found a single shed. And I've already seen some turkeys. So, right here, there's number one for today. Wow. You know, I don't know if I have this buck on camera. Because I did run a camera here, I only ran one. You know, I might or I might not. There's some funky looking bucks, but that's pretty weird right there. It's almost like he had a point right there coming off his main beam. Great start, day's already made. At most I'd expect to find 5, and at least I'd expect to find 1. And so we've already reached our expectation, and we've got a lot of property left. Good start. That's a great start to the day. 15 minutes in, check that out. Beautiful sunrise, beautiful shed. How about that? Another one bites dust. Another one bites dust. There we are. It's number 2 for today. Dropped pretty recently. Blood, wax ring. The other one was dropped pretty recently too. You know, now that I think about it, this might have been the buck that I filmed back in the rut. I hunted this property 2 times during the rut and rattled in a buck. He was young, he was an 8-point, and he was pretty wide. Yeah, I think this is him. Just came up on number 3 today. Look at that little guy. That's a weird looking one. Wow, that is interesting. But wow, just right there on the path. He must have been coming up that path. Number 3 today. I found this guy dead. Sucks, but he looks like he's a pretty old deer. Tough to tell at this point. Just kind of going off of a few things. He's got a pretty decent sized head. You can see how his, like, the mass on him is pretty thick. The 4th one from today. It had been a good minute. Oh, wow. Nice looking 5-point. I don't know if I had pictures of him. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Like I said, I only ran 1 camera here, so not too familiar on what deer are in the area. But yeah, that's a good shed. And let's go see if we can find his other side, or we're still looking for the big one. There's a buck that probably is in the... Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is his other side. This might be his other side. I'm not joking, I was just talking about the big one. This might be him. This might be him, or unless it's the other side to this guy. Holy cow. No, this can't be the same deer. Look at that. No, I have this buck on camera. These are 2 different bucks. No way. I was seriously just talking to the camera, talking about how I want to find the big one. This isn't the big one on the property, but this is a nice one, and I do have pictures of this deer. I know it for a fact. That buck's crazy looking. And look at his base. He he must have busted that up when it fell off. And yeah, see, you can see he's really high and tight. The pictures I have of him, he's really high and tight. But that's crazy. When I saw this, I was just talking about this one that I just found. It was coming up around that tree right there. Looked over, and this one was laying right here. But I was talking about there's a buck that's even bigger than that one. That one's either the second or third biggest. I think he's the third biggest. But the biggest buck is the one that we found the shed off of last year. Last year we only found one shed, and we just found 4 and 5 today. 2 really nice ones. Everything has been so fresh. Everything has been extremely fresh. I'm thinking that there was a lot of snow in eastern Iowa, and it took a good minute to melt. I mean, it took a lot longer than it did in southern Iowa to melt. So I'm thinking what happened was these sheds were under the snow for a while, and it kind of, I don't know if that's what helped them keep their color and keep the mice off them, because normally this property, they don't let any squirrel hunting. All the antlers we find on this property always have a chew mark, and the 5 that I've found today don't have any chew marks. So I'm thinking that all these antlers were under the snow. Yo, I'm so lucky I saw this. This just shows how bad of a shed hunter I am, and how many I've probably walked by this year. So I just found the 6th one from today. It's laying right here, right there, bang. I seriously, not even 3 minutes ago, I was standing right here looking at this deadhead like this. I was just lucky enough to be standing right here and see it at the right angle and barely see it. I actually saw it from the harder angle, but it makes you wonder how many I've really walked by this year. I don't know if I recognize that buck. I might, but that's a cool looking color to it. It's like got that, it's like dark, but it's like, I don't know. That's neat though. This is the perfect spot. This is where I expect to find sheds. I mean, this is where if I could pick any spot, I'd expect to find a shed. And for the past 4 years, I have not found one shed in here, and I've looked it thoroughly every time. South-facing slope, cedars to block the wind, food right behind them, wind coming out of the north. They can see everything down there in front of them. It's just, this is where you expect to find a shed. This, and like I said, past 4 years, haven't found one. That's the 5th year in a row that I've walked in this spot, haven't found anything. I get over the fence, I kid you not, I see this leg laying right here. I'm sitting here looking at this leg, walking up on it like, dang, there's another dead deer that I found. And I look over, look at this. I didn't even see it. That's the 7th one from today. It looks like it's got some coyote. You know, that might be the... You just wait a minute. Look there. I'd say that's a match for sure. No doubt. And the reason I'm not picking that one up right now is because I want to take pictures of it. Wow. That's cool. That is a good looking antler. I don't know if I recognize that buck. Just your typical 4-point. This is nuts. There's not a single chew mark on any of these antlers. That one I just found up there was about 10 yards from where Dad found one 2 years ago. It was damn near chewed in half. But the landowners have been saying that these deer have been coming up from over there. They'll come down, they'll cross that creek, and they'll come up here to get to the food up here. And that's why I think we found 2 right here. They said it was a good spot, and there's no doubt about it. We just found 2 within 50 yards of each other, and that's a cool looking shed. So he was just sitting up here, perched up. He could see everything in the bottom, and he could smell everything from behind him. And that makes perfect sense for number 8 today. Came out here, and then luckily I came right back over here, and bang, right there, number 9 for today. But that's nuts, because I was so close to it. But I never saw it. That's the 2nd time that's happened today. Unreal. Like I said, not a single antler has chew marks on it. Now, there was a lot of snow here. You can still see snow there. You can see snow up on that bank over there. Snow's up there. And I think that it just melted, but still, these squirrels are typically fast to it. That's number 9 today. And I think that puts us at 95, which is way more than I expected this year. I might not sound excited because I'm extremely tired. Still got to find the big one. The big one, I really think that we will find it if it wasn't dropped in a cornfield. One thing I wanted to point out is, like I already said earlier, I found one shed on this property last year. It was off the big buck that I'm looking for today, and found one and looked all day. And this year, I'm already at 9. And I'd say I'm probably just over halfway through the property. And so the reason I wanted to point that out is, don't think because one year you don't find a lot of sheds on a property that the next year it won't be golden. This is a perfect example. I never thought today I'd find this many. And yeah, like I said, 1 last year, 9 today. Boom, boom, number 10 for today, right over there. Right there. Oh, well, this finally makes sense. We finally got chew marks. Look at this. There's finally, look at the hair on him. That's probably the one that looks the most fresh. It's the only one that's got chew marks. It's a good find. It's number 10. Way more than I expected. And we got to keep moving. Wow. We're not to the spot yet where I think there's a couple spots that we haven't hit yet where I think that the big one hangs out. I've been trying to save it for last, but I've been taking my time here because I know that the property owners said that they seen him up here, but where I think we'll find him based on where we found him last year and where I've seen pictures of him is a little ways away. Out here getting a tan, walking in the snow. That's Iowa for you. So I'm just getting to the good spot where I found the shed last year. I was standing exactly right here. I could look down that gully and you could see the shed laying on the other side of the fence. Well, I came up over here to look this year. Wasn't him, but this is a crazy looking match set. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. That's unreal. Holy damn mice. 4 brow tines. That's all he's got on that one side. Laying right here next to each other. I remember that there was a buck that I had on camera from this property that had some funky stuff going on one side. And I think this might be him. I can't remember exactly what he looked like. I just remember he was like really funky. But look at that. That's nuts. That's just crazy. That's a crazy. And you know, his basis ain't that big. If I remember right, the one that was really funky was really young. This one will be insane to see next year. That sucks that the mice got to him, but that's probably the most unique shed from this year. If not my most unique shed of all time. That's so cool. I heard a 4-wheeler coming up on the north end, so I was gonna go check it out. So I walk up to the north end, and as I get up to the north end, a kid my age walking across the cornfield, going onto the property that he doesn't have permission to be on. So I hollered up at him, you know, made friends with him, and I was like, what's going on? You know, what are you up to? Oh, you know, shed hunting and all this stuff. Like, you know, I've been looking for a pretty nice buck's shed today. I can't seem to find him. Any chance that you might have found him? Well, he pulls up his phone. Of course, he found the match set. But here's the interesting part. So I heard him coming. He rode his 4-wheeler all the way up to that north point. Right when he got to the end, I met him up there. After we're done talking, he's like, I think I'm just gonna head back. He drives all the way back. The dude was going to shed hunt over here. Frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And that probably explains why last year I only found 1. And why today I found a lot. Because he probably hasn't hit this yet. He's probably planning to. We'll keep looking though. We're gonna run the rest of the day. I was confident I was gonna find his sheds too. I was really confident. We found ourselves another shed, which is awesome. And that makes 13 today. Number 99 on the year. Even though I know I'm not going to find the big one. I have found so many 4 points today that it is unreal. Gosh, that's awesome. And guess what? We just found number 100 for this year. Unreal. Just been a great year. And yeah, best year yet for me, that's for sure. Wow, that's number 100. That's another 4 point. That's probably like the 8th 4 point from today. Never did I ever think that we would hit 100 sheds. I didn't want to leave until I found the 100th one, even though I knew that the big ones were already found. We found it. This is my second to last place I wanted to hit. We're gonna hit a place tomorrow. We're actually gonna go in city limits. There's this big buck that we've been seeing in city limits, but we've seen big bucks in that area from previous years, and I never find the sheds off of them. We got one more place to shed hunt tomorrow. We're going in city limits. This is gonna be different. We probably won't find anything, but if we do, it'll be pretty good. Those two are bucks. Where art thou, sheds, buddy? It's pretty crazy that there's no squirrels that got to him.
Well, the end of it's broke. He chewed or something. I don't know if he broke it or... Can I pick it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would have been a nice shed.
I know. Oh, that's actually broke.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it's wore down. It's like he broke it.
We missed it.
You know what? You pushed them. They were all coming across.
I was just Snapchatting one of my buddies, and I came running down this hill, not even paying attention, looking at my phone, and I come up here to like cross the creek, and look at that right there. And you want to know what? I found the shed off of this buck last year. He grew a lot. He's still young. He's gonna be a stud next year. The only bad part is that these are city deer. Let me remind you, these are city deer. You can see that there's a house up there. There's houses over there. So I'm not gonna, I can't hunt these deer. But that's the second year in a row I found his shed. He's grown an immense amount in just 1 year. That's the second biggest one in the area that I know of. We just found one of his sheds. It's awesome. It was that close to falling into the creek. If that had fell in the creek with how once it flooded, that would have been long gone. Long gone. Well, we're heading back to the truck. Yeah, we're just tired. Whoops. This is the most sheds we found in city limits ever. So it was a good day, but we're just tired. And we're ready to do some turkey hunting. So that's a wrap for shed hunting 2019. 102 sheds.